Welcome back to Bigger Than Race. You know who this is? This is your boy, Brando. It's been a minute, it's been a while, but I'm back. And I'm gonna be bringing you a deep dive that I firmly believe will lead to massive gains. Not because I say it, but because of the 6 degrees of separation, the connecting the dots, the teams, the narratives, the evolving of tech and the finance world. And it ultimately is going to end up being built and integrated with blockchain technology. We're going to talk about Sei, creating the future, the fastest parallel blockchain, pushing the boundaries of blockchain technology through open source development. Sei stands to unlock a brand new design space for consumer-facing applications. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to open this up with a YouTube video that I found to be honestly eye-opening, and I think they sum it up pretty well in this video, just to give you an overview. But Sei is the layer 1 blockchain for trading. So if you picture all of NASDAQ and many different markets on Sei, we're talking about trillions upon trillions of dollars on this blockchain. That's Sei, and they have a lot of say, and we'll see as this video continues. Let's dive on in. Boom!
We're looking at Sei, particularly their recent V2 release that aims to fix a major problem in crypto: slow, expensive trading. And the way they're doing it? By creating what they call the first parallelized EVM.
When you think about all successful applications in crypto, they by and large fall into 2 big buckets. The first is they're directly an exchange. Very obvious. It's Uniswap, OpenSea, Blur, Axie, Magic Eden. These are directly exchanges. Axie and StepN, they might look like games, but the core thing you do in both those games is you exchange the digital assets. You exchange the NFTs.
But before we get into what makes Sei different, we need to understand why they believe trading is important and what problems they're trying to fix. Let's start with the current state of crypto trading. When you try to trade on Ethereum or any other popular blockchain, you'll quickly run into 2 big problems. It's slow and it's expensive. Jay Jog, Sei's co-founder, breaks down these limitations.
So throughput is the general idea for like how much work you're able to process per unit of time. And if you look at Ethereum L1, if you look at rollups that are built on top of Ethereum, they're not really able to get more than 50 transactions per second that they're able to process.
Now, 50 transactions per second might sound like a lot, but it's not nearly enough for serious trading. To put this in perspective, traditional stock exchanges handle thousands of trades per second. This limitation leads to another problem: high gas fees.
So what does this mean from the user experience and the developer experience? Well, from the user experience, this means that you have to pay ridiculous gas fees. For example, I'm sure a lot of you have been doing stuff on Ethereum recently. If you're trying to do stuff on the L1, if it's 100 Gwei for gas fees, like you're going to be spending a shitload of money on gas.
These high fees aren't just annoying, they're actually keeping most people from using crypto at all.
I mean, look, no one wants to pay that kind of gas. That ends up resulting in most of the human population, honestly, just being excluded from participating on-chain. And that's definitely not the world that we anticipate having happen on-chain in the future.
And I remember personally when Ethereum fees were astronomical. I mean, they were, you'd be paying $500 for an NFT. Like the gas fees cost more than the damn NFT. It was ridiculous.
But it's not just users who suffer. These limitations also force developers to make compromises. Here's a perfect example.
As a developer, if you're constrained to a 50 TPS environment, then it becomes much more difficult for you to build the kind of applications that you would see in Web 2 or in traditional finance. And it forces you to make use of anti-patterns to be able to get stuff just working on the EVM. One example of this would be automated market makers. Like automated market makers, they do not exist in traditional finance. And the reason that they've started to become so popular, the biggest reason that they're popular on-chain, is because they fit the limitations of what the EVM really allows you to do.
Think about that for a second. Some of the most popular crypto products like Uniswap only exist because the current technology is too limited to do better. This is the problem Sei is trying to solve. But to understand their solution, we first need to understand why they're so focused on trading in the first place. Here's Jeff Feng explaining their core belief.
And we'll talk a bit about our thesis. We only have one simple thesis. We believe that the fundamental use case of blockchains is the exchange of digital assets. That's it, period. There's so many other things that people can talk about for blockchains, that people can get excited about. At the end of the day, the thing that matters the most is the exchange of digital assets. And you can see that across every big, important app in crypto today.
At first, this might seem too simple, but look closer at any successful crypto project and you'll see trading at its core. Jeff breaks it down perfectly.
Gaming. The largest applications have their own exchanges. It's the exchange of Axie's tokens, the exchange of Steppen's tokens. The biggest social apps all come down to the exchange of assets. For Steppen, you have to exchange the Steppen tokens, the Steppen NFTs. For NFTs, what's the main thing that people do with NFTs? They exchange them on another exchange, except instead of Binance, instead of OKX, it's OpenSea and Magic Eden. And in DeFi, I think that's very obvious. I don't need to touch on for that too much.
Even apps that aren't directly about trading still depend on it.
The second big bucket of successful, widely adopted applications is indirectly trading apps. MetaMask, Tether, USDC, Aave, they're not directly trading apps, but all of their demand organically still comes from trading. Tether and USDC, stablecoins, they have deep product market fit as a trading pair. They are used to swap out of one token to another token. It's the main reason why stablecoins are used. MetaMask, most of the users that go on MetaMask, they end up in the same locations. Uniswap and OpenSea or MetaMask swap.
Jeff then makes an interesting comparison to traditional industries.
And most industries are dominated by publishers. In gaming, those publishers are Activision, EA, Epic. If you and I wanted to create a brand new game, we'd go to Activision. They'd take 5% of the game revenues and they distribute it to all the GameStops, the Steams, and help distribute our game. If we created a brand new drug together, we'd need to go to Pfizer. They would help distribute our drug to all the hospitals and everywhere else. In music, if we created a brand new song, you'd have to go to Warner, you'd have to go to Spotify. They will help distribute that song.
The same thing happens in crypto. Right now, Ethereum is...
They corner the damn markets. And when we see this, when we see the powers that be or the power players like the presidents and his DeFi company, World Liberty Financial, and just 6 degrees of separation, looking at what they're purchasing, looking at the infrastructure that's being set up in regards to the financial sector, look at how these institutions, these companies are coming in, look at BlackRock. You could look at different cryptos that are going to be tokenizing assets, tokenizing different sectors that are being born. Now, they're not going to tell us all of what they're doing, but we have to be savvy enough. We have to know what to look for in order to get a slice of the pie. I brought World Liberty Financial to you guys, and for those of you who did buy, congratulations. I personally believe that shit is going to fly. And it was just a 1 year, cliff before we can have access to it, but the tokens have already been sent to the wallet. Once they turn that thing on,
it's crypto's biggest publisher, which is why most projects still build on it despite its problems. But Sei
yes, Ethereum is that girl at high school that everyone ran a train on. Every major blockchain that is now layer 1 at some point had relations with Ethereum. And that's a fact. Not all, but majority of them have come through Ethereum to gain the foundation that they needed to branch off to become the competitors that they are today. Or I wouldn't even say competitors, right? It's all different pieces to the puzzle that do certain different things that will play into an overall
believes they can
picture.
offer something better, a chain built specifically for trading. And to do this, they're bringing some serious technical upgrades to the table. Let's look at how Sei plans to make trading better, starting with their biggest technical upgrade, parallelization. Jay Jog explains the current problem.
So if you have 100 transactions that come in, you'll need to process every single one of them one by one. And this is super simple from an engineering standpoint to implement, but it's not performant. It's extremely inefficient, and it does not take advantage of modern hardware.
To help us understand this, Jay uses a simple comparison we can all relate to.
Half of you are on your phones right now. Those of you that are on your phones, these machines have multiple cores. They're able to process multiple work streams simultaneously. And if you have single-threaded execution environments, you're not really making the best use of the hardware that you have at your disposal.
Think of it like this. Imagine if your phone could only run one app at a time. No multitasking, no background processes, nothing. That would be pretty inefficient, right? Well, that's basically how most blockchains work right now. Sei wants to change this through parallelization.
But if you are able to have the chain figure out what the dependencies are, that is a better end state to get to because it makes the developer experience much, much better. And that's exactly what we've decided to do with Sei. We make use of optimistic parallelization.
Here's how it works in simple terms.
And a super high level idea here is you try to run things all in parallel initially, then there will be conflicts for transactions that are touching the same state, and then you rerun those. The nice thing though is when you start rerunning transactions for a second time onward, all of the state that they're touching has largely already been pulled into memory. So it ends up being much more performant because you don't really need to worry about needing to read from disk.
The results? According to Jay, Sei is now...
From a technical standpoint, Sei V1 is seeing a sustained 390 millisecond time to finality. So it's the fastest chain out there, a magnitude faster even than chains like Solana. Like in Solana's case, you might have 600 millisecond block times, but then blocks don't get finalized until there's like multiple blocks being added. So in Solana's case, it might be like 3 to 5 second actual finality.
But speed alone isn't enough.
Now, why this is so bullish is because there's never been anything like it, right? You're accelerating Ethereum, you're accelerating the industry across the board. And that there's a big reason why you start hearing news like this. Donald Trump linked crypto project buys $775,000 worth of Sei as altcoin accumulation continues. Now, World Liberty Financial, the crypto venture backed by the U.S. President Donald Trump family, we know, just bought a whopping $775,000. But personally, me, Brando, I've been doing some digging in this World Liberty Financial wallet, and I have noticed transactions dating back a couple months that went under the radar, buying Sei. And I have checked their main wallet, not the wallet that does the buying, but the multi-sig wallet, and they have quite a bit of Sei already just sitting in that wallet. And you know, this time around in crypto, I've seen a lot. You know, I haven't been here since the birth of Bitcoin, but I've been here since late 2016, and that's pretty early to see the transitions and the growth that has happened within this industry. And I can surely tell you right now, as we are in 2025, I get the sense of the birth of some major blockchains that are going to be known as the next big things. And I personally believe that DeFi, the trend is your friend that we coined here, DeFi is going to make a major move back into the picture. And you can see that just by following what Donald Trump is doing at World Liberty Financial and the types of assets that they're buying. You know, they purchase Sei, they purchase ETH, Bitcoin, Tron, Move, Ondo, Athena. A lot of those are within that DeFi sector. And this is one of the reasons I'm bringing back Sei. I've already purchased. Okay, I'm positioned right now, and I personally believe it's only going to go higher, and we'll go deeper as this video progresses. But 380 ms time to finality, which you just heard, 12,500 transactions per second, which is crazy, and 1.2 billion plus transactions already, supported by elite global institutions. And this is one of the reasons why I also got in position, because I'm not going to be the guy that sees stuff like this, have the money, not do the research, not invest, and miss the damn boat. I'm going to be the guy that ends up doing and being exactly who I told you I was, because I do and say what I mean, and I mean what I say, and I follow suit. So Sei stands at the forefront of blockchain innovation, supported by Circle, Delphi Digital, Coin Capital, Coinbase, Jump, and Pyth. We're going to talk about Pyth later on in this video, because you know it's all about the 6 degrees of separation and connecting of the dots. And you know, at BTR, Bigger Than Race, we love to connect the dots, because that is how you find the next hidden gems, the bullishness, right? And I have to fact check it and do what I do. And here we are. But Coinbase says we back exceptional entrepreneurs working to advance the crypto/Web3 ecosystem and support Coinbase's mission of creating more economic freedom. Circle says the Sei ecosystem aligns with our commitment to working with founders and teams dedicated to open access and programmable commerce. Wyatt Lonergan, principal at Circle Ventures. And you can come back here and read the others. But they're redefining high-speed blockchain technology, which is needed, leading with speed, revolutionary architecture, robust security, all helps you build on the fastest blockchain in the industry, and that is Sei. And I believe they have a lot to say, no pun intended, or actually pun intended. I mean all of what I'm saying here. You can come here, look at the ecosystem. Actually, let's pull up this ecosystem just so we can all take a look. I've already looked through this, but I encourage you to come here and look for yourself, because we're going to also go back to that video we were watching, because they just put it together so well. And I have watched it thoroughly, and I was like, man, I have to watch this with the community at the same time as we go through this. But you know, they have all the ecosystem, a hub of blockchain innovation. Sei ecosystem is the epicenter of technological advancement, bringing together creative minds and industry leaders to drive the future of Sei's blockchain technology. They also have a Sei Labs as well. You got the Bridge, the Explorer, Stake the Sei. They have about 40 plus validators. They have the Dragon Swap, derivatives, Silo. You can see all of their ecosystem. Big players in this thing. You can come see it all. They seem to be connected with everybody. I would seem you would have to be in order to be considered the layer 1 blockchain for all transactions. Like, that's taking this thing to another level. Okay, so I encourage you guys to come here. I mean, they got everything on here, and I'm really focused on DeFi currently, because I already know where the trend is headed, because I see the signs and I follow. I don't just see the money moving, I gotta follow it and act as well. Sailor Finance. Interesting. Might have to take a look at that one just to see what it is. Because I know Popeye, the IP rights has pretty much moved to open domain, so it's kind of funny that they got that there. And Sailor is an exchange with about 13.7 million traded on it. Nice. Okay, so we can see a bit of their ecosystem, right? And also they have their blog in the Sei Labs, which is pretty much building the future of blockchain. It's like their entity that hires and brings on talent. Sei Labs builds open source technology for the high performance Sei blockchain, the fastest layer 1 blockchain designed to scale with the industry. So if you're looking for a job, you're in the tech world, dev, come on Sei, because they're hiring. You can come here and look at what they got going on. But this is the blog.sei.io, building the robot economy, which is one of their latest articles of April 3rd. Deepen tokenization as capital formation for embodied AI. Very interesting article. We possibly will read through some of this, but I wanted to jump back to the video here so that we could get some more insight on what they got going on, because I believe it is one of the most dynamic and has a large potential to do crazy numbers. Okay, I mean, we're talking about crazy. What does it look like when an asset finally does reach $1 trillion plus market cap other than Bitcoin? The financial industry all on one token
Alone isn't enough. Developers need to be able to build on Sei easily, which is why they're making some major upgrades with Sei V2. Sei V2 is bringing 3 major upgrades to the network.
For Sei V2, there's fundamentally 3 things that we're doing. The first is we're adding in EVM support. So this is going to be an interoperable EVM, which will be able to communicate with the rest of the chain as it exists right now. The second thing that we're doing is we're going to be supporting optimistic parallelization. So what this means is that the chain will be able to figure out how to parallelize transactions. Developers don't need to do anything. So developers can just take something from Ethereum L1, deploy that onto Sei, and it will just work. So it's a massive unlock for developers from the backwards compatibility standpoint. And the third thing is that we're also going to be improving the way that state access, state commitment, and state storage works with what we're calling Sei DB.
Now let's break down why these features matter. First, EVM support. This is crucial because
the biggest feedback that we've gotten from developers, though, is they want to have EVM support, because all crypto native, or almost all crypto native developers right now, they're EVM developers. So they have spent their entire crypto career building with the Ethereum virtual machine, and they understand all the quirks of how the EVM works.
The second feature, optimistic parallelization, we've already discussed. But there's also Sei DB, which solves another big problem.
The more throughput you have, aka the more transactions that are processed, the more state that actually gets created. And this is something you then need to account for. And when you have more state, the result of that is it leads to, first of all, more state storage that you need to manage. Like if there's 10 terabytes of state, then most consumer hardware is not going to be able to just automatically support that. You need to start upgrading your hardware.
Their solution? A new database system that makes everything more efficient.
And that ends up leading to a ton of unnecessary metadata that you're just tracking. When you have these 3 files that are stored on disk as part of this memory map file system, you're able to avoid all of that extraneous metadata, which helps you get a 60% reduction in the state size, which is massive. Like that is a huge improvement on the amount of data that you actually need to persist.
All of this runs on Sei's twin turbo consensus, which delivers incredibly fast transaction times.
And this allows us to get 390 millisecond time to finality, which makes it, currently it is the fastest chain that is out there on mainnet right now. And this will continue to be the case for Sei V2. And this has single slot finality with an internationally distributed validator set.
These improvements aren't just technical upgrades, they make Sei much more appealing to developers. Why should developers choose Sei? The answer comes down to 3 things: familiarity, simplicity, and support. Let's start with familiarity. Here's why Sei made EVM compatibility a priority.
So over the past couple of years, there's one thesis that we have started to develop, which is that the EVM is here to stay. 87% of crypto developers currently work on the EVM. So essentially everyone that's crypto native is an EVM developer. And if you basically ask them about moving to a new execution environment, let's say Cosm Wasm or any of these other execution environments, there's typically a lot of hesitation.
The reason for this hesitation? Security.
And this comes from two major components. The first is it's a pretty big security risk. If you're comfortable with Solidity and you know the internals for how the EVM work, it's pretty risky to go to a new execution environment. Let's say write a smart contract in Rust. One small bug can result in your entire project getting drained. So it's super intimidating to go to a new execution environment.
Sei makes this transition easy. According to Jay's experience with early testers,
The internal DevNet was deployed back in December, so around a month ago now. And we've already had several teams, external teams, that were able to go through the end-to-end flow of deploying onto it. I mean, in their case, it was really nice because there's full EVM bytecode compatibility. So they were able to seamlessly deploy it. All the tooling worked as well to whatever developer tooling they wanted to use. User tooling such as MetaMask as well. Everything just worked.
but Sei isn't just offering technical tools, they're also providing financial support.
And our big call to action, the thing that we are most focused on, especially in a market like right now, is I think the most underrated part of the industry are failed founders. Founders that have taken their first leap, their first jump, and it didn't work out how they expected. The market was tough, they didn't raise as much money, they made classic mistakes. We want to give them a second chance. It's something that...
This is why I like this founder here, you know, because he believes in giving chances to founders who are battle tested. They deserve to be funded and helped along. I mean, we all need that helping hand. And this is why I believe in Sei's vision and why they're going to be a dominating force. Picture the entire NASDAQ on a chain. The superhighway for trading activity globally across any digital asset. Just look and think about where we are in the moment, the time, the regulatory aspects globally going on with crypto and how they're creating this new financial system and what it's going to entail. And it's all needed. It all needs the blockchain. Different protocols doing different things. And we're at this time where we're these assets have been launched in like 2024, 2023. Came out quiet, you know, but you got to follow the signs and follow the trends, my friend, because the trend is your friend.
Resonates a lot with me. My first many companies did not do very well. And I'm excited about the trajectory of Sei Labs, but I think every good founder deserves a second, a third chance.
This commitment to supporting developers is backed by serious funding.
I think the biggest thing would be the ecosystem fund. So this was announced around a year ago. There's a $120 million ecosystem and liquidity fund that's like there to help grow anything that is building on Sei.
With these pieces in place, what's next for Sei? Let's look at their roadmap. While the transcripts we've looked at discuss Sei V2 as an upcoming upgrade, it actually went live on May 27, 2024. Let's look at what this means for Sei's future. The V2 upgrade, which went live on May 27, 2024, has already brought significant changes to the network.
So that brings us to the big vision. Where will Sei end up in 10 years? If we're successful in solving this problem, it is the single most important problem in crypto. To be able to build an exchange, an application, and have the trading operate exactly like a centralized exchange. There's no difference, there's no trade-off. Today, the trade-off is too high. If you build a decentralized exchange today, you get all the benefits of decentralization, but the user experience is so bad. It is not even practical to think about. It's too big of a gap.
Since the V2 launch, we've already seen this vision start to take shape. New protocols have emerged, including DragonSwap, Sei's first EVM-compatible DEX, and Yay Finance, their first lending protocol. The upgrade has led to significant growth, with total value locked increasing by 271.6% in June 2024 alone. But Sei isn't stopping there. Looking ahead, they're planning to launch what they call the Parallel Stack. This will let developers create their own Layer 2 networks on top of Sei, all sharing the same fast, parallelized infrastructure. But perhaps most importantly, Sei wants to become the go-to platform for all trading activities.
But at the end of the day, what does the core founder and application care about? They care about users. They don't care about anything else. They just want users. They want to offer the best user experience. They want to keep those users and retain them. And that's exactly the easiest way to think about what Sei is focused on. What's our big bet? Our bet is that the largest publisher in crypto and Web3 will be the destination for exchanging all digital assets. Because that's what this entire industry comes down to.
Damn, that's big. Because remember, if you remember the image that was shown on the screen with the largest publishers in different sectors, like gaming is Epic and Activision and so on and so forth. For music, it's Warner Music and Spotify and another company. But you have these entities that are pretty much the gateway to what you may want to achieve. If you have no publishing, you have no distribution, you have no money. So Sei wants to be that, and that's a big undertaking.
For this growth, Sei launched two major grant initiatives in April 2024. A $10 million creator fund to support NFT and social content creators, and an entrepreneur in residence program to help early stage projects get off the ground. They've also partnered with Gitcoin for a $250,000 crowdfunding round to support new developers. So what do you think? Will Sei's laser focus on trading give them the edge they need in the competitive L1 space? We believe that their approach makes a lot of sense. Most successful crypto projects, whether they are NFTs, games, or DeFi protocols, ultimately come down to trading assets. And with V2 already showing promising results, Sei might be onto something big here. But success isn't guaranteed. They'll need to convince developers to build on their chain instead of established chains like Ethereum. And they'll need to prove that their trading-first approach can deliver the user experience they've promised. Will parallelization and EVM compatibility be enough to make Sei the go-to platform for trading? Or will other chains catch up with similar features?
Personally, I think they can do it, especially if they have the backing that is going to take Sei to another level. When you have the back of, let's say, Circle. See, many people don't know Coinbase is a fintech bank. They will be filing the paper soon. Kraken is a fintech bank. Gemini, these are the new banks. But if we can see the funding rounds, who backed them? You have Distributed Global, Jump Capital, Bixen, Hypershares, Multicoin, Coinbase. Circle came on a little bit later, probably after all of this took place, and then they joined. But yeah, and then you can come and see their Twitter score is very good. You can see what prices they actually bought this token at. So seed round 0.005. So whoever got in here was pretty lucky. Thankfully for us, we are able to participate in certain seed rounds and private rounds, just early rounds before they go mainstream to the public. And if you're looking to do that, go to biggerthanrace.com, join the community, join our Telegram group, Discord. Just join the family and connect with us. But yeah, they got in at good prices. So at 4 cents and 0.005. And their unlocks will happen every from April continued. So you want to pay attention to this because this can be a good thing or a bad thing, right? You have a lot of liquidity tokens being unlocked every month, valued at currently at the price for 4 million, and that's what, probably about 13 million a month for a 12, even more than that. We want to pay attention to that. But personally, if you have the president's company buying it at this price, considering what it's going to do, it's about to do some crazy stuff in regard to price. Another bullish reason brings us to Grayscale. And we want to pay attention to Grayscale, right? They're a major entity within the crypto. And they're doing a lot of bullish things in regard to the industry and giving people access to crypto. One can argue if people purchasing, different crypto funds or ETFs or whatever, if they're really getting the real asset. Some say no. Who cares? We don't really participate in that because we buy and own and hold the real value, the asset itself, in a cold storage wallet or a wallet that we own the seed phrase, because we're smart. That's why we avoid the fiascos like the FTX drama. But I digress. But Grayscale here, these are assets under consideration coming. Smart contract platforms, Aptos, Arbitrum, Celestia, Hedera Hashgraph, Sei, Sonic, Starknet, Ton, Tron, Airdrome, Financials, Airdrome, Binance Coin, Objective, Jupiter, Ondo, Pindo, Thorchain, Consumer, AI16Z, Doge, IMX, Immutable, Virtuals, Utility Services, Akash, Artificial Superintelligence, Arweave, Engine Layer, Flock, Grass, Helium, Hyperbolic, Jito, Prime Intellect, Pyth, which is an asset I'm going to talk to you about, as a 6 degrees of separation, as I told you earlier, which is a partner of Sei, Space and Time, Story Protocol, and WorldCoin. So we can see some of the assets that we talk about are up in here, which means we are on the money. I want to go to Pyth, smarter data for smarter contracts. And I'm going to also this down and show some market analysis that Sparks Flames shared with not too long. But this is another asset. This is like a competitor to Chainlink. From my research, they're doing something. That Chainlink is like you need your left hand and you got a right hand. So they're like opposite. Right? Similar, but doing different things. I remember when Chainlink was in lower price, we're hyping it, talking about it. If you knew, you bought it, Didn't, you didn't, you missed the boat. Thing flew up in price. Who knew? One never knows. You gotta put yourself in position, taking some sort of risk. Pyth is smarter data for smarter contracts. Secure your smart contracts with reliable, low latency market data, institutional sources. Build apps with high fidelity Oracle feeds designed for mission critical systems. You could just see the partners just scrolling here across the screen. Nice feeds for smart contracts. Remember, Sei wants to be the layer 1 blockchain for all trading. You're going to also need to have a partnership like real-time market data. Feeds you that information so you can continue to do what Sei needs to do. And this is a live token as well. Pyth delivers real-time market data for crypto, equities, FX, and commodities to 100 blockchains. This is where this integrates with the tokenization of the financial world. This is this WA hidden in. blockchain. So 120 plus major market participants, including Cboe, Binance, OKX, contribute data. See the video. Let's video. Because they talk about 1,300 plus, 520 plus, 100 plus blockchains, 180 million plus.
What makes a smart contract smart? Is it the way it's written? Well, sort of. What makes a smart contract smart is the quality of the data you feed it. And yet, much of the real-world data that blockchain applications use, whether it's cryptocurrency, stocks or commodity prices, come from third-party aggregators who are themselves dependent on another source for information. If the data they receive is flawed or a second too slow, well, you know what can happen, because we've seen it happen before. For DeFi to reach its full potential, serving billions of people and securing trillions of dollars, it needs highly reliable, latency-sensitive data of the highest fidelity. It needs a solution custom-built for the future of Web3. Pyth Network is that solution. Pyth is a data oracle designed to meet the security, accuracy, and scalability needs of DeFi. It sources its data from more than 80 world-class market participants, including exchanges, market makers, and financial services providers. This ensures the highest degree of data accuracy and reliability. Pyth also updates its data every 400 milliseconds. This ensures that time-sensitive quotes are delivered in real time. It is also the only oracle to provide confidence intervals, which represent price uncertainty estimates across markets at any given time, so that users and platforms can make the best decisions. This ensures confidence. Ultimately, that's what Pyth provides. The confidence that in a world where you are only as good as your data, you have access to the highest fidelity and time-sensitive data on-chain. That's why Pyth is the fastest growing financial oracle across DeFi, serving more than 100 applications across Layer 1 and Layer 2 blockchains and supporting billions in trading volume for users globally. So don't be pretty confident about your data. Be Pyth confident.
Pyth with the bullishness. Listen, Cboe Global Markets is a leading provider of market infrastructure and tradable products, delivers cutting-edge trading, clearing, and investment solutions to market participants and around the world. I want to take a little look into Cboe real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a deep dive. They've been asking about it. They say, Brando, when we gonna get another deep dive? And you know, honestly, it just hasn't been the right time, guys. Sometimes, you know, there's ebb and flows. I try to still stay engaged and kind of deliver. We got to go with the flows. And right now, you know, I've been having my head in the trenches, and I'm here. I'm back out, and I'm delivering what we see. So Cboe, the exchange for the world stage, local experience, global expertise. The VIX, S&P 500, real-time data, Cboe Titanium, Europe derivative, clearing, U.S. equity. So they're tied to the shits. Excuse my French. They're tied to the big stuff, the big dogs, all the money. And we can come here and look at some of their content, but we want to see just a little bit. You know, this is how you find more info, and you know you gain the confidence that you need in order to invest by doing real research, connecting the dots. Look, about us, who we are and what we do. Cboe is the world's go-to derivatives and exchange network, delivering cutting-edge trading, clearing, and investment solutions to people around the world. We provide trading solutions and products in multiple asset classes, including equities, derivatives, FX, and digital assets across North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific. But we're more than just transactions. We are an exchange of ideas that spark innovation and a provider of services and education that help you navigate any market environment. So listening to that brings me back here. 6 degrees of separation. Trump, World Liberty Financial added Sei. And we need to pay attention to what they're doing, because World Liberty Financial is about to be a dominating force in crypto. And it's going to be in the president. fool not to take some kind of calculated risk. I mean, God damn, you got to lose. We don't have anything to lose. We have nothing to lose at all. So while that loads, I want to play this video real quick just to hear more about Cboe. But guys, I think we've stumbled upon some treasures. I'm already locked and loaded in Sei. I'm gonna look at getting in Pyth, but let's go.
Cboe Titanium is our unified exchange platform that powers Cboe's innovative trading products, global markets, robust market data offerings, and ultimately our future. Just like the element, Cboe Titanium is high-performing, resilient, flexible, and innovative. It was built to handle record high volume, even during peak volatility. At the same time, our customers trust Cboe Titanium to ensure data integrity, regulatory compliance, and continuous operations without downtime. In today's world, every nanosecond counts. Cboe Titanium offers a competitive edge by providing our customers fast, reliable access to pricing and data, powering faster execution times, and enabling scalability. Cboe Titanium is flexible and responsive. We can build once and deploy globally while customizing the platform for the unique needs of any market or asset class. We call that locally optimized and globally consistent. You can be anywhere in the world, and Cboe Titanium will provide a consistent global experience with leading-edge features and common protocols. In the end, it's our dedicated global team that makes the difference. Just like Titanium, our team is resourceful and committed to excellence. They're all in to build, test, operate, and continuously improve Cboe Titanium.
Oh, Cboe, like Tebow. All right, let's go back to the Trump World Liberty Financial Holdings. 103 million in crypto, 22 million in USDC, 15 million in Bitcoin, ETH. They got 13 million, USDT 10, Tron 10 million. They have 470 million, 40 million Tron. They got some stealth ETH. This token white that I brought up to you guys. They say that it was sent to them, to their wallet. And, you know, it's just very interesting. They haven't confirmed that. Nobody has said anything. There's been an incident with Zebek Protocol where they said that they have some partnership with them, and then they found out they added World Liberty Financial, and then they came out and said they apologized, that they didn't fact check. So apparently, word on the street is White Rock sent them to the wallet. That token to the wallet, but I'm not sure. I don't know. There's no confirmation, right? And it's a lot of money that they sent them. And you know, Arcom is one of the most reliable, showing the true holdings, right? And yeah, they got some other stuff. People could have sent that stuff to the wallet, but I only look at the real money, right? Millions in the asset. You know, a couple $100,000. But this right here, the reason why I say that it's interesting, because of what is being built. DeFi is coming back. We got the a favorable regulatory climate globally in regards to crypto. They're about to bring in regulations in regard to stable coins. We know how big of a deal stable coins is going to play. Also in Sei. Sei's backed by the bank. The new fintech bank Coinbase is also in bed with Circle, which is behind USDC. And I've already told you USDC is the new dollar. So is USDT. You know? Different strokes for different folks. But you earn yield on both of them. On USDC, for sure. But you can earn yield on both, which is the new dividend I keep talking about. But White Rock, you know, built with, you know, they have these logos out here. They even got BlackRock, and I have yet to confirm it, but I don't see nobody has saying anything other. Like, there's just talk, right? But you know, I'm not sure. But anyways, proven and reliable. Apparently this is live. Bond, stocks, properties, you got 24/7, fully on chain, invest and save. Now, they have these logos. I'm not sure how true it is. I've been trying to do some digging. Confirmed anything just yet. So you guys can also come over here and look. I bought some. I'm already up from where I bought. And I think I'm just going to continue to hold on to it. But when I told you about it, it was cheaper than it was. And of course, they had a recent dip because of this news that came out, like the partnership, like they're going to have some a White Rock card through Zebic. And it was just some chaos, honestly. But we'll have to see how it unfolds and it plays out. But yeah, you can connect here, invest. I didn't connect my wallet yet, but you can trade this stuff. So it's real. If it's not, it's not. We have to do some more digging. So any of my research heads out there want to dig into this one price. So we could make a lot of bank. But we have Sei 0.9 Ondo. Some of these others wrecked. I don't know if they bought that or if it was sent to them. I do hold as well. But yeah, Sei, some DeFi moves. You know, if Sei is gonna, that's what I think it can do. It's gonna touch some dollars. It's one that I'm gonna look at and purchase as well. Only because of the connections, what it's gonna do, what it's doing, and also backed by Wintermute. And Wintermute is, you know, behind a lot of the liquidity in these major blockchains. Wintermute partnered with Tron recently. Ethereum, Wintermute, harnessing chaos in digital asset markets. Wintermute makes digital asset markets liquid and efficient. So the reason why some of these blockchains and assets are so liquid because they're partnered with the dog, Wintermute. And I'm just having a moment right now. Just came into my mind. I need to start investigating assets on Wintermute, just the assets that they invest. And if you know anything about Wintermute, you know it's a dominating force. But they do have a venture arm and they invest. I've been looking at Winter, 15 billion in daily trading volume, 150 token liquidity partners, 110 venture investments. It's a big deal. DeFi operating at every level of decentralized finance. So this is also important stuff to look at when you see who's behind Sei, who's backed them. Trying to get to the website. Where did I see Wintermute as an investor? It must have been on Chainbroker. And if it wasn't Sei, I think Wintermute might have invested in Wintermute. No. So I saw it somewhere. I swear. That's the only reason I have it queued up. I gotta find this though. Okay, so Wintermute invested in Pyth. See? There it is. I found it. But that's where that comes from. So Pyth is gonna be a big deal. And take a look at subquery. But we'll cover Pyth on its own. But just know I'm eyeing these. Actually gonna pull the trigger on subquery because it's cheap. But let's take a look here at Sei, currently at 19 cents. And I'm actually going to share a message from Sparks looking down these assets. So, according to chart that she drew up here, currently we're at 19 cents. She would explain it better, of course, but I'm just going to do my best. But currently at 19 cents, And over some time, you can see that Sei has broken the downtrend, and it made a new higher highs, right? So the RSI shows a strong uptrend, and MACD confirms on the daily a bull trend. The 21 and the 50 SMAs has been conquered, and it's now looking to overtake the 100. And then the biggest resistance, the 200 SMA. So he's talking about resistance here. So we're took. See, honestly, we touched about 37 cents a couple weeks. Cents from where we are. Now, if we also go back, and this is Sei, if we go back to Sei here, its all-time high was $1 and like 20 cents, almost $1 and change, and that was back in March. So this is good eating right here, which is why Donald Trump and them made that move. And if you look, when this came out in August of 2023, it came out at 17 cents. And I mean, it's went up. This is prime time real estate right here. I'm already locked and loaded, and I feel like this thing could be that next thing. You know, what if you bought Solana when it was at a couple cents, 80 cents or whatever it was? What if you bought Ethereum? List goes on. This could potentially be one of them ones, which is why I'm already locked and loaded. I'm following the president, okay? And then I gotta look at Pyth and follow and see what's up with that. So let's see. Sparks. Pyth is the same analysis for Pyth. Similar patterns. Boom. It's right now at 15 cents. She's an uptick to 31 cents. And I see the same patterns too, because I see the same pattern that I just said. You know, this token came out. I don't know why my computer's a little slow. But this token came back out in 2023, November. Now, same timing, 28 cents, went up to about over $1. Damn, it's the same damn trend. 30 cents, 20 cents. Right now, it went to 11 at the recent. Now it's at 15. Market cap 570. This thing should be in billions, if not trillions, if it's going to really do what it says it's going to do. We know there's a lot of money, institutional money coming on. Sei is at almost $1 billion in the market cap. I mean, there's got to be some assets that go up to these astronomical market caps, like Binance's, the Solanas. And I've done various stages of looking at this in different market cap ranges of different popular assets. And this thing should be double digits. It could even be triple digits at one day. I don't know. But I'm not going to be the one that's going to miss out on any of that. I'm locked and loaded. I'm following the Trump family, World Liberty Financial, as they move to change DeFi, make DeFi real. I think we're getting a second chance at DeFi. You remember all of the scams, all of the, run this node, run this, buy this token, drip farm this, that. Fuck that! I'm tired of it. I want some realness. But you gotta stay engaged. You gotta keep fighting. You gotta keep swinging. You gotta keep investigating truth on your own terms. You must risk failure to achieve success. You gotta put a little skin in the game. Sacrifice. I'm not telling you what to do, but I am opening your eyes, connecting the dots, making you see what I see. And can't nobody see like I see, but I have to share the overall vision so you can see. Just connect the dots. Like, this video could be 2 to 3 hours, right? Right now we're over an hour. But I just want to show you how deep it can get, because this thing runs deep. And we're not going to get everything in one sitting. But join the community. Join our Patreon. Join our Telegram. Just get involved. which can only help you. You have to be around people who are like-minded. You have to be around people who want the same things as you. Look at this. Big dog status. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in and staying with us for this long deep dive, but I think it was necessary. I think it's needed, and I think it will bring us gains. That's ultimately what it's about. More importantly, it's about the knowledge. It's about giving you the game to see the bigger picture and how it all plays and connects to the financial world, the political world, the global stage, and how we're moving into the fourth and fifth industrial revolution. By 2030, things will look a whole lot different. But by 2026, 2028, boy, so much change. I mean, right now I'm seeing Waymos, autonomous vehicles, and robots crossing the streets at the same damn time. Soon you'll be seeing drones flying over your head, delivering all types of stuff, hidden in plain sight. I encourage you to go see the movie Sinners. Not that I'm a sinner, we all are, right? So they say. But it's just a good movie. Watch also the new Black Mirror series. This season is crazy. It's what we've always been talking about. But I'd love to stay here and talk to you more. But we're off. Investigate truth on your own terms. God bless.
Don't forget to like, share, and comment to let us know your thoughts. Do follow us on Instagram at Brando Murphy Official and Twitter at Brando Murphy, and at Bigger Than Race for the latest BTR updates. Investigate truth on your own terms.